Your Steve Jones Show podcast will start shortly. The Steve Jones Show podcast is sponsored by Brewers Outlet, your beverage supermarket on Reagan Street in Sunbury. Sports talk where your voice counts. This is the Steve Jones Show on News Radio 1070 WKOK. Now from the Sunbury Motors Studio, here's Steve Jones.
Today's show brought to you by Brewers Outlet, Reagan Street in Sunbury, the beverage supermarket. Stock up now. It's going to be a great weekend of sports. Basketball, wrestling. Stock up. Imports, domestics, microbrews, best selection of beer anywhere. Wine coolers, water, soft drinks, snacks. They also have 6 great flavors of slushies. And the pickle bar, led by the barrels and the dills, indeed second to none. All at Brewers Outlet, Reagan Street in Sunbury, the beverage supermarket. And we are in the Sunbury Motors studio. Sunbury Motors, 4th Street in Sunbury. Sunbury Motors Kia, routes 11 and 15, Hummels Wharf. Ford, Lincoln, Kia, Hyundai. Fabulous new inventory. Can't ask for better than that. Maybe the old budget says, hey, pre-owned inventory. Well, you're not going to find a better selection than Sunbury Motors, and it has the Sunbury Motors guarantee. Means everything. Fabulous service department as well. All at Sunbury Motors, 4th Street in Sunbury. Sunbury Motors Kia, routes 11 and 15, Hummels Wharf, and online at sunburymotors.com. Got that stimulus check? Great time to deal. Time now for our play-by-play call of the day. 50 years to the day, Drake wins an NCAA tournament game.
Dennis takes it right back. Clock ticks to 10. Three-pointer on its way. Dennis! Oh! Dexter! And Wichita State a chance at the final shot. They're down 1. This is for the win. Oh! Off the front iron. Oh, my goodness.
Brian Anderson with the call last night. Analyst Jim Jackson, whom I've had the privilege of working with. Brian Anderson always does a great job, and that's the 50 years to the day of the last NCAA tournament win by Drake. Of course, that does bring up the great Seinfeld line. Oh, the Drake. The Drake. We always kid about that every time we stayed in Chicago. The hotel across the street from us is the Drake. Oh, the Drake. All right, NCAA tournament scores going on right now. Halftime, Oral Roberts leads Ohio State 36-33. Baylor leads Hartford 20-14 with 6.5 to play opening half. Texas Tech beat Utah State 65-53. Arkansas beat Colgate 85-68. And Florida and Virginia Tech went to overtime, including this one.
Holding his leg as well. He may not be a factor this trip.
Still going to try to set the screen. Man with 7.
Step back.
Jumper. Yes, from 3.
Big time. He used the man.
Yes, he is.
Goodness. Unload.
Jim Nantz, Bill Raftery with the call. Florida won the game in overtime, 75-70. Juju Smith-Schuster, 1 year, $8 million deal with the Steelers. No Eagles news today.
And that's fine with me.
I wouldn't stand pat if I were you.
Yeah.
Because your team's not good. I mean, they may be number 4 in the division.
No, not maybe. They are.
Oh, you're just so filled with hate.
My one cousin, who's a Giants fan like yourself, texted me last night. He said Eagles 3-13. I said if they're lucky.
Wow. Very quickly, the NCAA Wrestling Championship. Zach Hartman, semifinalist out of Bucknell at 165. So he will wrestle tonight. Penn State right now has 4 semifinalists waiting on 2 others. Roman Bravo Young at 133. Nick Lee at 141. Carter Starachi at 174. Aaron Brooks, 184. Now we're waiting on Michael Beard at 197 and Greg Kurtfleet at heavyweight to see how it plays out for them. Penn State's in second place. Iowa is in first as they determine who the semifinals happen to be. Robbie Howard's out. Brady Berge, awful, got hurt. Berge got hurt, which is, he had to be carried off the mat by Cale Sanderson and the trainer Dan Monthly. That's just awful. Hate to see that. He put together a spectacular tournament to get to the quarterfinals. Meanwhile, the big injury in the NCAA basketball tournament so far is Leonard Hamilton, the coach of Florida State. He ruptured his Achilles. Oh, brutal. He'll coach anyway. We talked briefly about the TV contracts yesterday for the NFL. I understand there is more streaming than ever. I understand that. You know, young people maybe not getting cable, but streaming. I would have allowed them to incorporate, well, the big streaming one's going to be Amazon Prime on Thursday night. I want to get to an addendum to that in a moment. NBC keeps Sunday Night Football. ESPN keeps Monday Night Football. Some games on ABC. They also have the opportunity of 3 doubleheaders. And they have the opportunity late in the year to flex a game to Monday Night Football. CBS will keep for the most part, the AFC package, and Fox, for the most part, will keep the NFC package on Sundays. Some games on Thursday, some, not all, I think it's 6, will be on NFL Network. Local markets, when it's on Amazon Prime only, will be able to carry the game. Now let's get to my thought on the Amazon Prime deal. I realize that the NFL is looking at young people thinking they're going to stream more. Streaming for the Super Bowl, they kept saying, 5.7 million. 5.7 million. It could be Matt, for example, jumping on the stream 8 times and it counts as 8.
Not only that, it's the Super Bowl.
Right. No, but you're seeing what I'm saying, though.
Yeah.
5.7 million is not 5.7 million people watching. It could be, I check in the first quarter, watch for a few minutes, boom, I check in at the end of the first quarter, watch for a couple of minutes, I check in the second quarter, and all of a sudden you do it 8 times, it counts as 8. If I am ESPN, and of course I'm not, this is something that James Franklin and I have talked about many times. Usually after we're done with the Thursday show, when we're in person, obviously, we couldn't do it this year. I'm sure I've mentioned it a couple times. We usually, not always, sometimes the pregame show is taped on a Friday morning. But usually for time and convenience, we'll tape the pregame show after the talk show on Thursday night. I mean, they're only doing a walkthrough on Friday. Nothing is going to change. And, we'll get a chance to chit-chat about various things. And something that we've talked about a few times because it is Thursday night and the Thursday night NFL game's coming up. He says, Steve, I really miss, he said, that Thursday college football game. I said, yeah, me too. Better than the NFL game, usually. That was something that was always the topic of conversation that Joe and I had on Thursday nights. Hey, Steve, what do you got tonight? Or he'd come in and goes, hey, Steve, what's the game tonight? It's NC State against Wake Forest. Then it was, it was amazing? The number of times that the two of us would sit there and say, well, what do you think about tonight's game? How he almost always had it right as to who was going to win. It was really remarkable. And and James and I have talked about that, how much we miss it. Well, what's interesting is that when you look at this, I know ESPN has the Monday night package. And by the way, they can use ESPN Plus to stream it. If they're going to put the NFL, a lot of games on Amazon Prime only, if I were ESPN, I'd go all out. And I would bring back in full force, instead of having a Thursday game where it's a Mid-American Conference game or something like that, I'd bring back in full force the Thursday night game. College football can do something the NFL can't do. And that is this. The way college football is scheduled, I can schedule a Thursday night game where the two teams, don't play the Saturday before, play Thursday, and then don't play until the Saturday 9 days later. You end up with a really good game at that point because all of them have rests going into the Thursday game instead of what the NFL does where you play Sunday, you're still beat up, and you play Thursday night. College football has more flexibility with bye weeks to do that. And there have been some terrific games on Thursday night. Oregon State, USC was a terrific Thursday night game back in 2008. There was that famous Virginia Tech Florida State game where they direct snapped it to Warwick Dunn to try and win the game, and he came up short, and Virginia Tech beat them. And I think this would be a golden opportunity for them to bring that package back, to have really good Thursday night college football games. Maybe not the game of the week. You're not going to put Penn State, Ohio State on a Thursday night. You're not going to put Alabama, Auburn on a Thursday night. But you can get some really compelling matchups that you can put in, especially in conferences, on a Thursday night. And I think you have a chance sports-wise to win the night, especially against Amazon Prime, because it's going to be a limited audience watching the pro game. Just a thought. Because I think it would be great counter-programming, and what would keep them from doing it? Just because they have the NFL contract, they've had the NFL contract. Back in the day when they were doing quality Thursday night games. Why not? Just think it's a golden opportunity for them to bring back the Thursday night package and give people a football alternative besides an Amazon Prime game. Just a thought. It's one of the first things I thought of. And part of it is because James and I have talked about it several times. We each missed that Thursday night game. And the reason it came up is most of the time we do the pregame show, it's on a Thursday night. That's why it's come up a few times. We will take a break. Today's show brought to you by Brewers Outlet, Reagan Street in Sunbury, the beverage supermarket on News Radio 1070 WKOK. Spiriditas with the call. Colgate built up a 14-point lead at one point in the first half, and it was a wow moment. Unfortunately, they got outscored by 31 points after that. Lost by 17. Arkansas ran off 13 unanswered points to close the first half, and you thought they would take control of the game at that point. Did not. Second half, Colgate actually went back up on top, but then with about 10 minutes to go, a little too long, a little too quick, a little too good, and in the end, they won. And like I said, up 14, you lose by 17, so it was a 31-point swing. But Colgate fought hard for a long period of time in the game. King coming up in a few moments. Are we picking any games today? Are we picking the night games? Is that what we're doing?
I believe the plan is to pick the night games, and then we'll have King reveal his Final Four and champ.
Anybody left? No, I'm just kidding. Beard, by the way, lost at 197, so he goes to Wrestlebacks.
And just for the heck of it, just to see how outrageous this is, I have my wife Lisa's bracket. She always makes outrageous picks every year, usually by name. So she always likes Purdue, Gonzaga, those types of things. But she went a little different this year, and the Final Four is, yeah.
She might be right. I don't know. Find out.
I'll reveal that a little later, too. I want to get King's take.
I just think it's fun that she decided to play.
Oh, yeah, she does every year.
I think that's great.
And there was actually a year or two she actually beat me.
That's okay. That happens.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. It's all for fun.
Exactly.
Jeff Goodman, so funny. He tweeted out, I've talked to a lot of people close to Brad Stevens today, and not one of them thinks he'll actually take the Indiana job. No kidding. He's not going to take that job. Oh, my goodness. You know, I'm coaching the Celtics. Okay. By the way, let's give Colgate a nickname, Feisty. How about that? You like that?
Definitely a good way to put it.
They're feisty today. And there was a point where they could have been knocked out in this thing, like early. Nope. Halftime, 13 unanswered points. Could have been knocked out. Nope. To their credit, they hung in there.
And all of that without Jordan Burns scoring a point in that first part of the first half.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how Colgate beat Bucknell.
Yeah. Oral Roberts leads Ohio State 49-44 with under 12 to play in the game. Baylor at the half leads Hartford 37-21. Georgia Tech has jumped out to an 11-3 lead on Loyola of Chicago. Earlier today, Florida won in overtime. Texas Tech, Florida, they won. Illinois won. The only other game that has not started yet, and it's starting in a couple of minutes, it's Oregon State against Tennessee in the Midwest. All right. So that's the only other afternoon game that has not started yet. It's fun this time of the year. A lot going on. Let's see. Did the Yankees win today?
I will have to check. I don't know.
Does anybody out there care?
Probably not. I've been all on the tourney all day.
Let's see. Blue Jays, Tigers, Orioles. The Yankees play the Phillies at 6:35 tonight.
Yep.
But they're calling for showers.
So maybe they won't play tonight.
The Yankees are 12-4 in spring training. And Aaron Boone has already been named Manager of the Year. Aaron Nola goes tonight for the Phils. Today's show brought to you by Brewers Outlet, Reagan Street in Sunbury, the Beverage Supermarket, Imports Domestics Microbrews, best selection of beer anywhere. Wine coolers, water, soft drink, snacks. They roast their peanuts fresh and hot every day. Pickle Bar, led by the Barrels and the Dills, indeed second to none. All at Brewers Outlet, Reagan Street in Sunbury, the Beverage Supermarket on News Radio 1070 WKOK.
Taking your calls at 800-795-9565. This is the Steve Jones Show on News Radio 1070 WKOK. Now, from the Sunbury Motors Studio, here's Steve Jones.
Sunbury Motors, 4th Street in Sunbury. Sunbury Motors Kia, routes 11 and 15 in Hummel's Wharf. And online at sunburymotors.com. Ford, Lincoln, Kia, Hyundai. That's the best selection of new inventory you're going to find. Maybe the budget says pre-owned inventory. They got you covered. Wide selection, all backed up by the Sunbury Motors guarantee. It is all at Sunbury Motors, 4th Street in Sunbury, Sunbury Motors Kia, routes 11 and 15 in Hummel's Wharf, and online at sunburymotors.com. And today's show, and you need to get in the vehicle right now, put the show on 1070, and drive over to Brewers Outlet, Reagan Street in Sunbury. It is a big weekend of sports. NCAA basketball tournament, wrestling. You just want to kick back, enjoy, make sure you have plenty of beverages. Brewers Outlet is the best of imports, domestics, and microbrews. Not going to get a better selection anywhere. Wine coolers, water, soft drinks, lots of snacks. They roast their peanuts fresh and hot every day. 6 great flavors of slushies. And the Pickle Bar, led by the Barrels and the Dills, indeed second to none. All at Brewers Outlet, Reagan Street in Sunbury. The Beverage Supermarket, the best. With that, we now bring in a big fan of Brewers Outlet, the King.
Love Brewers Outlet. Shamalama Ding Dong. So, how's it going?
Good. Everything's fine here.
Good. Got our picks going. Who'd you pick to win? Oh, we're going to do that all at once. I screwed up in the bracket. I didn't put down a tiebreaker score.
Tiebreaker score? That's all right.
Well, actually, we can reveal them now, and then we'll just do our picks for tonight next.
Okay.
You want to go first, King?
Sure. I'll give you my final four. Let's see. I put my broken glasses on and tied together in the middle.
Perfect.
My final four is Gonzaga, Baylor, Illinois, and UConn.
Well, of course, UConn's in there.
Well, seriously, I think that they're good enough to make it that far.
I actually had them to the Sweet 16, so.
Yeah, they're a good basketball team, and they've got a superstar. So that's all you need. You need to get on a run. So.
All right. And any major Cinderellas besides UConn?
Besides UConn? Actually, no. I pretty much stayed standard. Got a little bit afraid there with Arkansas. Almost got knocked out. That would have really messed me up, but they made it through. No, UConn's my Cinderella.
Okay. Steve, what's your bracket look like? I know we did Final Four, but any other?
I picked Colgate, Hartford, Norfolk State, and UCLA. I thought I felt really good after day one. No, I picked Gonzaga.
Sounds like Lisa's bracket.
Gonzaga, Illinois, Florida State, and Texas Tech.
All right. And then your champ was Gonzaga and Illinois?
Yes, with Gonzaga winning 88-82. It'd actually be an entertaining game as opposed to last night's games where the first time anybody broke 60 was the Michigan State UCLA game. The other three games,
the Drake game. That have.
I mean, nobody broke 60 all night. I'm sitting there like, this is, no offense, isn't this exciting? I'm like, this is dreadful.
Yeah, all the games actually were pretty ugly yesterday, maybe minus the Michigan State UCLA game, but even though they were all good finishes, there was some bad basketball last night.
I mean, now the last 3 minutes when the game's on the line, yeah. Okay, that's where winning and losing comes into play. But let's be honest about it. I'm sitting there watching this thing. I said, this is not good hoops. And not only that, you're talking about two arenas where I've probably done 20 to 25 games in Mackey, 20 to 25 games in Assembly Hall. Those are two great places to shoot. The background can't be any better. Well,
not to interrupt, but are you following Ohio State Oral Roberts?
Oh,
yeah, I got that game on the TV here. They're not winning.
Tied with 5 minutes left, or 5:55 left.
Yeah, it's Oral Roberts, the team I actually liked. Ohio State, as you know, I was never enamored with, as you know. But, I mean, now in this game, obviously, I picked Ohio State to win. And then, what was Lisa's Final Four? I think she picked she did it like the Kentucky Derby. She picked it by Silks uniforms.
A little bit of that, mostly by what names sound cool. So the Final Four is Creighton, Iona, Winthrop, and Loyola Chicago.
All of them are very well-coached teams.
With Creighton and Winthrop in the championship, Creighton, her champ.
The Blue Jays.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
It's the tourney. Anyone can win. I didn't even know Oral Roberts still had a school. So.
Nah, they played Penn State a couple of years ago, so I've done an Oral Roberts game.
Yeah, they've been there.
Yeah, I've done an Oral Roberts game. They just have not. There was many years ago. I don't know. Let's go back 25 years ago. I mean, they actually had a heck of a program.
Real good.
Really,
team.
yeah, real good. And then as time has gone.
Didn't they get in trouble for something?
I don't remember.
I don't know why that stuck in my mind. I saw that they made the tournament. I was like, wow. I didn't know they still had I know it's a religious school.
Right. Well,
good for them.
very, very quickly, let's get everybody up to date. NCAA Wrestling Championship. Zach Hartman of Bucknell is in the semifinals at 165. So we'll start there. For Penn State, they're going to have 4 semifinalists. Roman Bravo Young at 133, Nick Lee at 141, Carter Storaci at 174, Aaron Brooks at 184. Michael Beard lost at 197. Brady Berge, unfortunately, a devastating injury, had to be carried off the mat at 157. And great Kurt Fleet, Gable Stevenson's one of the best. And it was a workmanlike performance. Stevenson won. And as for the NCAA tournament, let's get everybody up to date on the scores there. As you know, we talked about Oral Roberts and Ohio State, 58-56. Oral Roberts, 5:21 to play. Halftime, Baylor leads Hartford 37-21. Georgia Tech leads Loyola 19-15. Oregon State's jumped out to a 7-5 lead on Tennessee. Florida, Texas Tech, Arkansas. Unfortunately, it's still referred to them as Arkansas. Arkansas and Florida all won today, and Illinois won as one. Illinois won easily over Drexel. So we'll come back with more in a moment here on News Radio 1070 WKOK, brought to you by Brewers Outlet.
Party time, game time, or just fun time. Doesn't matter what time it is, because it's Brewers Outlet time. The beverage supermarket has the area's largest beer selection. Imports, microbrews, ciders, and domestics. Pick from over 100 ice-cold 12-packs and dozens of 24-ounce singles. Soda, snacks, hot sauces, fresh roasted peanuts. Make it one-stop party shopping, and don't forget the pickle bar. So whatever you're celebrating or just doing it up, Brewers Outlet, Reagan Street, Sunbury wants to see you. And thank you for your years of patronage.
Another scary moment. Suit looked at us the other day. He said, "Who's Utah State?" I said, "What?" I said, "Utah State." I'm getting worried. I don't know about you. Then he looked at me and he said, "Who's Loy-Shy?" I said, "Loyola Chicago?" Oh, brutal. Under 4, Ohio State leads Oral Roberts 61-60. 18 minutes to play in the game. Baylor leads Hartford 40-21. Georgia Tech with 5:53 to go in the opening half leads Loyola Chicago 19-17. 13 minutes to go opening half. Oregon State leads Tennessee 11-7. So all the late games are being played right now in the afternoon session. Florida won in overtime. Illinois won easily. Arkansas beat Colgate earlier today, and Texas Tech beat Utah State.
So I'm looking at the thing, Matt, and it does come. I haven't got any wrong yet. I mean, there's only 4, but they come up green if you win.
Yes, I did discover that myself. Yeah, so we're good.
Yeah,
now.
so because I haven't had it's not a big deal. It's only 4 games. I presume if you lose, it comes up red.
Yes, exactly right, because I have one wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
all right. So last week, Steve went 5-1. He's now 25-7 in our basketball picks. I went 4-2. I'm 20-12. King, you went 2-4. You're 12-20.
Yeah, baby. I got 2 right. I'm happy. I'm 4-0 today. Yahoo!
That's right. All right. So now we're going to start with the 6:30 game. Liberty and Oklahoma State. Steve.
Should be a heck of a game, but Cade Cunningham is a special player. He made my Wooden Award ballot that I handed in earlier this week. I'll go with Oklahoma State.
King?
I'm looking for it. See who I picked up. There it is. Oklahoma State.
I have the Cowboys as well. I had them going deep.
He's a good player. I think Oklahoma State was misseeded, but that's just me.
I agree. Next one, Wisconsin, UNC. King.
Oh, brutal.
Which bracket are they in?
What is this? The West?
It's hard. It's hard to tell because they do all these pods now, and they don't keep them bracketed the entire time.
Oh, here it is. They're in the South. I got North Carolina.
Ooh, okay. Steve.
Michigan State is a team that I know that internally they have some struggles.
A little bit.
Right? No, but this is something I could have told you 2 months ago. Wisconsin's another team that internally has a few struggles. But they're also older than 8 NBA teams. They're 4-41 lifetime at Mackey Arena. Did you know that?
No.
As a program, 4-41. The problem is they played Purdue the entire time. All right, so okay.
That's stat of the day right there.
North Carolina and Wisconsin. I'll go with Wisconsin. I'll roll the dice on that for one game and one game only because Wisconsin is not clearing Monday night. I can tell you that.
I don't trust UNC. I'm sticking with the Badgers myself. Next one, 2:15 matchup. Cleveland State and Houston. King.
Oh, man. I got to find them. Cleveland State. Oh, they're in the Midwest at the bottom. Cleveland State, I got Houston.
All right, Steve.
Here's the interesting part. After wrecking the Indiana program after being 2 years there, the game is being played at Assembly Hall in Bloomington, where the biggest break that Kelvin Sampson is going to get as the coach at Houston is there are no fans in the stands to torment him the entire game. Houston wins.
Yeah, I got Houston as well.
He wrecked that place.
Next one, 4:13 matchup. North Texas and Purdue. Steve.
It's another scary one. The suit asked me, where's North Texas? I said, the northern part of the state. He scares the heck out of me. I mean, I mean, I don't want to see him on Jeopardy geography for 500.
It's
really?
the vertical part.
Oh, no. What are we doing? The inside game of Purdue makes a difference in this one. In the passing of Travion Williams, Purdue advances.
I got Purdue as well. King?
I love the front court player, Purdue. I don't know.
I'm also big on the assistant coach.
I'm just doing what the guys on TV do. They just make these comments. Oh, the front court players, just the front court, whatever.
98
just
seconds
sound
left.
like I know anything about it at all. So.
98 seconds left. Ohio State leads Oral Roberts 64-60.
All right. Next one. Rutgers, Clemson. 7-10. Yeah, this is going to be another ugly one, too.
Oh, my
King.
goodness. The first team
I
to
got
40.
Rutgers.
You got Rutgers. I got Clemson. I think Rutgers is more atrocious than Clemson. That's how I picked this one, Steve.
First team to 40. I'll give you the difference maker in the game. Miles Johnson of Rutgers. He is one of the more underrated big players in the country. He's not going to wow you with scoring or anything like that, but he is a rim protector. I'm going to go with Rutgers in a tough, low-scoring game.
All right. I'm the only one going with Clemson there that time. All right. Next one, 11-6 matchup that I cry foul on because Q should not have been straight to an 11 seed. They should have been our first 4 team. Q's taking on SDSU. Steve.
SDSU?
Yeah.
Who's SDSU?
San Diego State University.
Oh, I got it. They're playing Syracuse. Okay.
Syracuse is always dangerous in the second round because
Jim Boeheim's not there.
Because the 48-hour turnover is not good. You know, in other words, to get ready for that zone in 48 hours. When you've got time and San Diego State has time, it's enough. They'll win.
All right. And King.
Oh, I'm big on San Diego State.
Me too. I got them to the Elite Eight.
Advancing.
Brian Dutcher, good coach. Done a good job there.
Yeah. I have San Diego State. I think they win outright tonight.
Well, I thought we were picking outright. I didn't think we were picking against the number.
All right, next one. Morehead State, West Virginia. Steve.
Actually, this should be a really good game. I think Morehead State's actually a really good team.
Okay.
But one thing that Bob Huggins has now that he really hasn't had in years past, they still play. They're not the great West Virginia defensive team of the past, but they've become a much better offensive team. They'll win the game. They'll win the game by 10, but it'll be a good game for a long time.
King?
It's against my heart and my soul and everything I have, but West Virginia.
Huggy Bear. Huggy Bear.
I didn't like the guy when he was at Cincinnati. I don't like him there, but whatever.
Hey, they graduated one player when he was there at Cincinnati, but they're very proud of that kid.
He was just drunk walking around.
And they're very proud of that kid.
I got WVU too. And then finally, the 9:57 tip, Winthrop, Nova. A lot of people have this as the big 5-12 upset. Steve, do you confer?
No more, no Gillespie. Big problem. I am gonna go with Winthrop. I'll roll the dice on him.
I am rolling with the Winthrop as well, and I got them. Actually, maybe I had them only winning one game, but anyway, I have them winning. King.
Going with my heart, absolutely love Villanova's coach. He'll find a way.
Oh, okay. All right. I like it.
No, I mean, let's face it. Jay is a fabulous coach. No getting around it.
He's a wonderful guy. I told you the story, didn't I, Matt? When I went to Madison Square Garden.
Yes, you did.
Steve brought me, and I sat behind. Who was he the coach for? Hampton?
Hofstra.
Huh?
Hofstra. Yep.
And every kid, he'd take him off the court, and he'd go sit on the bench and talk to him. It's like the game wasn't even going on. He'd take someone out of the game, he'd sit down and talk to them, then he'd get back up, and every kid, and I was sitting right behind the bench, and I thought, man, this guy's a great coach. And I'm so happy to see that he's made it to the big time. Got a national championship. He's
got two. He's got two.
Yeah, two of them. So.
2 national titles. And again, he really is fabulous. Getting around. The problem is when you lose 40.
I think he'll find a way because he's a good coach.
Yeah.
So,
my only problem with them
he'll find a way.
Is losing 40% of your lineup like that. That hurts.
That's tough. Yeah.
Yeah, that is really tough, and that's
and
why.
That's the other thing with this tournament. It's going to be tough. If COVID hits anybody, it's going to mess the whole thing up. So
no question.
Gino's out.
Yeah, Gino's out of the tournament.
Well, he got the shots. He got vaccinated, and he still got it.
But it does take 28 days, right, to really kick in?
Well, he got the first shot, and he got the second shot, and he still got, tested positive. He said he's not sick, but what are you going to do? He's lucky the team didn't have it. So.
Well, Paige Brockers is a heck of a player. And
he's good. He's got these freshmen for 4 years. My God, they're going to be unbeatable.
Chris Daly is a terrific coach.
So good.
And Chris Daly is a terrific coach in her own right. So.
Oh, she'll do fine. But Shea Ralph went home too. So.
Yeah.
Lost 2 coaches.
Have a great weekend, everybody. When it comes to car buying, there's the other guy's way, and then there's the SMC way. The other guys force you into a vehicle you really don't want. The Sunbury Motors way lets you take the time you need to browse, ask questions, and take the test drive and think on it. For over 100 years, the Mertz family and all their employees have made your experience the most pleasant one you'll ever have. The other guys won't offer you the best price for your trade, no matter how much they say they will. The SMC way is their promise to provide you with the most money the market shows your vehicle is worth. The SMC way is to offer you all applicable factory rebates on new vehicles and generous discounts. Looking for a pre-owned vehicle? The SMC way checks each vehicle with a 200-mile radius to determine the lowest price, then beat it. It's the lowest price promise, just part of the SMC way. The choice is up to you. The other guy's way or the SMC way. The SMC way wins every time. Sunbury Motors Company in the North 4th Street Auto Plaza, Sunbury, and at sunburymotors.com. Selling more cars and satisfying more customers for over 100 years.